Now we'll be creating our design, and as you can see, I've already started creating mine. You're going to use the pen tool, P, on your keyboard, and you want to make sure that your pen is set to a fill of none and a stroke of white. So you can change that here or here. A couple of pointers. You are, of course, creating a symmetrical design, so you need to create everything on one side. We're starting on the left side, and your designs will start on the outside. You'll create that design and then make sure it hangs off. So let me scooch down, and I'm going to continue working on this design right now. So I don't have a plan worked out. Sometimes you will, and you might get some reference material. Right now I'm just letting the shapes themselves talk to me, and I'm going where my muse is sort of taking me. The first couple of times you do this, you're just going to be getting used to the steps, and that's fine. That's how it should be, because there are a lot of steps to this. So I'm just moving around here. I'm going to come off the page. So I started here and I finished here, and I did not stop once in all of that. So that's one big pointer. You can't stop. If you stop when we get to the point where we cut this, it won't work. So make sure it's just one long line that hangs together. So you'll create your design, being careful not to let them overlap. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little surgery, what I call surgery. I'm zooming in. I want to click on my, it's activated in the white arrow, but I want to click here to make sure I can adjust that handlebar. And for some reason it's not letting me. I'm just going to bring that one down a little bit to make sure that they're not overlapping. Alright, so I'm going to zoom out, and incidentally I'm using my space bar and my command key to zoom out. Oh, I'm sorry, that would be zoom in. All three of them. The space bar, the command key, and the option alt key will allow me to zoom out. So I now have a design on this side. If you've been looking carefully at this, you'll notice that there's a couple that I did that are floating on the inside. And that's okay if you've created a closed path. These paths are closed. You know from our pin work that's you know how to do that. So they can be on the interior if they are a closed path. If they are not a closed path, it will not work. So now I'm going to select just this. I'm going to scroll with my selection tool right on the outside of that square. I don't want to select the rectangle, only these white strokes. I also want to select this one, so I'm very carefully holding my shift key and hovering over that path. My smart guides are on, so it's lighting them up for me. So now all of my white strokes are selected and my black box is not selected. You can see that it isn't selected because there is no handlebar around the whole thing. Just these guys are a bounding box. The next step is to reflect it and copy it to the other side. We'll do that by going to our reflect tool. Shortcut is O. You want to then move your mouse over to the guideline and establish your axis point, your hinge point. So I'm going to click right there. Now I want to copy and move this, so let's use our option key. We remember that the double arrows are going to indicate that we're going to copy this thing now. So I'm clicking and flipping it over, and then I'll hold the shift key at that last moment to snap it in place, to constrain it, to make it symmetrical. So I, at this moment, have my option alt key, my shift key pressed with my left hand, and my right hand is clicking and holding the mouse. So now I'm going to let go of the mouse and then my left hand is on the keyboard. Immediately I'll go to the selection tool and deselect. So now I have a perfectly symmetrical design. We'll stop here for this movie. We'll move on in the next one to show you how to cut this.